These mathematical heroes with Candyman kinks are now multiversal zeros whose lives kinda stink. We'll see how long that lasts.
And if you look to your left, you'll see a car that'll hopefully run me over on my way home from work.
Here's 10 things I loved about Adventure Time Fionna and Cake episodes 1 and 2. Quick disclaimer, if you like animation, I tackle a lot on this channel, from quick reviews to long analysis. So if you're digging the content I'm putting out here, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so I can bury you in more of it.
I'm gonna bury you with my videos.
But for now, let's see what kind of flaky creative cakes this flake and her cake be baking. Ooh, bacon cakes. Number 1. Okay, speaking as a lifelong Adventure Time fan, and I'm talking like same age as Finn when it came out and the show practically raised me like it was my awkward uncle kind of fan, am I the only one who was as hyped for Fionna and Cake episodes as I was for dental work? I mean, the eps are fine for what they are, but the fandom always treats them like the pinnacle of AT quality, when in reality they're just kinda milquetoast fanfic.net tier stories featuring Finn in a bra. I respect them nowadays as both a jab and nod at fandom culture, but let's face it, comparing Finn and Fionna's actual characters are like comparing an original Picasso to Molly Wilson's scribbles from 4th grade art class. But this Fionna, this Fionna I like. This gal is a stark contrast to the copy-paste job she used to be. She's cynical, grumpy, and fed up with life, while also being kind and considerate to her friends and Kitty, alongside having some adorable quirks like a thirst for magical girl fantasy adventures and zero impulse control around sugar. So, we all agreed to never tell her that there's a whole kingdom of sentient candy people in Ooh? I mean, girl, if you think paying for the vet is impossible, wait till you get legal fees. Overall, she's got the same down-to-earth yet imaginative charm that a duo like Bee and Puppy Cat had. And I think it was a good idea to start off with something simple and relatable to the target audience before dumping all the magical multiversal stuff on us right away. But as interesting as Fionna is, she's nothing compared to number 2. Simon Petrikov, the most interesting character in the show's universe, besides the obvious, and easily the one most rife with potential for growth and exploration after being decrowned. Aside from some hints at internal struggles as shown in Obsidian, where he dressed up in his old duds and screwed around in the freezer, this is how I cope! We never really got to see what Simon's day-to-day life is in this bizarro world that he's now forced to live in. And it turns out that he's huddled in a concealed capsule of 2000s memorabilia, essentially acting as a glorified museum exhibit. While he likely did this out of necessity since he probably can't find work elsewhere, he also does it to retain some sense of normality in his life, spending at least a few waking hours in an environment with things he can remember and comprehend. But when the shutters flip up, he's reminded that he's a metaphorical and literal relic of a bygone era, accepted by all, but struggling to fit in with no one who can truly relate to his turmoil. His only options are surface-level copes like cosplay fantasies and shot glasses with more olives than booze. While Fionna's current life is mostly drab and mundane, Simon's is just straight up depressing, having regular breakdowns and manic episodes as his sanity starts slipping away even without the crown on his head. A man of logic and sensibilities long since past that no one in this world is capable of empathizing with, simply because they can never understand how he's feeling. And all of this is presented through one of the most low-key and sad performances I've ever seen from Tom Kenny in a cartoon. I heard that this show apparently contains the most emotional recording session he's ever done. I'm not exactly sure which episode he's talking about, but if it messes me up as much as this one, well, in the words of Ice King himself,
I'm really scared.
Number 3. The themes of existentialism and acceptance of reality are pretty dang solid so far, with Fionna craving fantastical adventures far from her dull existence, and Simon wanting to cling on to the only shreds of normalcy he can in a world gone mad. Heck, all you need to do is look at the opening scenes for each episode and notice how similar yet completely different they are. Both characters wake up bright and early, pop on the TV show Cheers, and get ready for the daily grind. But notice how Fionna constantly flips through the channels looking for one that isn't playing Cheers, implying that she's desperate for a deviation from the norm, while Simon lets the show run through his whole routine uninterrupted, wanting things to feel as familiar as possible before he inevitably returns to the insanity outside his window. It also doubles as a cute callback, since the Cheers theme song was the tune that Simon used to hang on to his sanity while wearing the crown in Simon and Marcy. Plus, while Fiona happily dreams of a Sailor Moon-esque adventure wanting to escape her reality, Simon lies awake in his 2000 shed without dreaming, wishing this could once again be his reality. Even though we only have 2 episodes as of writing this, I feel like they're setting up for some pretty interesting themes here. Now more than ever before, it feels like adults are absolutely obsessed with escapism, and truly believe that if they were transported to another world or time, all of their problems would be over. Heck, with modern day stuff like VR games and life sims, it's becoming more and more easy to indulge in this. But here's a newsflash for you. Reality cannot be escaped. It has to be accepted and dealt with head on. Whether you yearn for something lost in the past like Simon, or you pray for some miraculously magical future like Fiona, the truth is that you exist in the present. You exist in this world and this time. You could do all the daydreaming and space-time continuum warping you want, but that truth will always catch up to you. And the sooner you embrace it, the sooner you'll be able to work towards real things that can make your life happy instead of yearning for the impossible. Acceptance is the true key to happiness. At least that's what I'm picking up so far. I'm not entirely sure how the arcs for this duo are gonna pan out, but this show has gotten me beyond invested in their characters. And until the next few weeks arrive, I guess the most I can do is just sit on the sidelines and watch them suffer. Okay, that was pretty heavy. Can we do a fun one next? Number 4. Hey everyone, who's up for a game of Spot the Dimensional Doubles? Yeah, if you try to tell me that you didn't watch episode 1 twice just to point out all the character cameos, then you, my friend, are a liar. Let's see, we've got Fionna, Cake, Prince Gumball, Marshall Lee, Flame Prince, Lumpy Space Prince, Hot Dog Princess, Banana Guard, Queen of Ooh, Fern, the Lemon Grab, Starchy, Abrigadaniel, Lemon Hope, Cinnamon Bun, Wildberry Princess, Ash, Butterscotch Butler, and Ice Queen as an ice cream lady. We even get a few cameos that are literally set in stone, like the Ice King's penguins in front of the local aquarium, and a statue of Betty in the park. This one was supposed to be fun. Why am I overthinking things again? Number 5. Would you believe me if I said that sentient dirt jars, floating human cities, and literally thinking with portals were not the most ridiculous things in the show? Nope, that goes to the fact that we have a new adult cartoon that can actually be considered mature. No need to worry about constant sex humor, buckets of blood, or a swear per second ratio, because Fionna and Cake is actually extremely somber and chill. You've got a few noticeable moments like Simon drinking at the bar, the occasional swear word, Fionna doing a teen-friendly middle finger, Finn brutally stabbing a monster through the head, and, well...
What color is my underwear?
I can actually answer that question now.
But most of the runtime is focused on relatable adult situations and introspective moments for our main characters. I'm definitely not opposed to a more in-your-face, crass style of show, but it is nice to see a program more focused on personal struggles rather than in-your-face vulgarity. Number 6. Finn is still Finn, and I couldn't be happier. Taking place between Obsidian and Together Again, we have jacked up adult Finn, who still has the same adventurous spirit, kind heart, and occasional impulsiveness that's come to define his character over the years. But in this case, it's cranked up to infinity. This dude is a tank, slaying colossal monsters like it ain't no thing, while also being a good pal to Simon and trying to help him get his mind off his existential crisis. He can't exactly relate to Simon's situation, so he tries his own methods to perk the geezer up, like going on a quest full of near-death experiences to try and make him feel alive again. Obviously this doesn't really work, but it is the thought that counts. And again, it shows that even if no one can relate to Simon, they all still accept him and would do anything to help him. It's so nice to see that Finn is still the same optimistic human hero we all know and love, even without his best bud by his side. Heck, considering that Jake is dead at this point in time, maybe questing doubles as Finn's coping mechanism for his own problems. He brings up the idea of keeping busy so everything will be fine, so it's totally possible that this is how he deals with some sadness on the regular. He doesn't do it just for that, he obviously does it because it's fun, but I'm sure it helps during those fleeting periods where he's feeling down without his doggo. Also, geez, dude, out of every part of that mud skipper you could have chowed down on, you picked the peeper? I've heard of hungry eyes, but this is ridiculous. Number 7. Why button, why? But what? You know a show has got me engaged when a freaking button appearing on Prismo's TV wall remote has me bouncing off the other walls. And there's so much leading up to that moment too. Who is causing Fionna and Cake to have these strange Ice Prince dreams all of a sudden? Is it the same force that beamed Fionna and Cake's dreams into Ice King's head during the main series? Are they forming some kind of multiversal psychic link with each other? Hence why Cake jumped out of Simon's head after his little gulp summoning emotional surge? Is Fionna and Cake's world literally just part of Ice King's imagination, trapped in a mind that craves nothing but normal? That would explain the statue and the ice dreams and the loss of magic and the coming out of the head thing. Whatever's going on, it apparently caused a time-space conundrum so big that now Prismo has to get involved. Wait. Is that beeping button a message from Prismo's boss? Is the multiverse donked up that badly?
Well, we're boned.
I know I'll have answers in about a week, but now thanks to Adventure Time, I can't even pick up my TV remote without going into theory mode. You made turning on your own show a struggle for me, Max. I hope you're proud of yourselves. Number 8. Man, did I miss Adventure Time style of music. AT's OST always hits this strange fusion of indie pop, dreamlike cadences, and 8-bit bleeps and bloops that I've never really heard replicated in other shows before. And most of the songs in these two eps seem to match that style perfectly. Fiona's song, Not Myself, is from someone named Zuzu, whom I've never heard of. Oh well, I've never heard of Lauv until Elemental, and that song frickin' slaps too, so maybe I've got someone new to check out. Marshall's little guitar number was really cool, especially with Donald freaking Glover back behind the mic, but the clear standout here is Part of the Madness, sung by... take a frickin' guess. Yeah, Rebecca Sugar is back with the jams yet again, providing a somber soundtrack for Simon's depressionary episode, and it fits the mood beautifully. I wouldn't call it one of her all-time best, but it serves its purpose and I absolutely love it. I'm curious if this sets some kind of precedent where we're going to be seeing at least one song per episode. If that's the case, I'm going to be one happy fanboy, that's for sure. Number 9. PB and Marcy. Yeah, that's it. Love them in the series, love them in Obsidian. Any opportunity I get to see these gals hanging out together is automatically going in my good books. I also like how Marcy's inability to help Simon is basically the last straw for him. The girl that was once his only confidant in the wreckage of the world and even present day, the one last piece of normal he can grasp onto while everything else was going nuts, has now become more accustomed to the madness of this world than he probably ever will. At this point, he feels completely lost and alone, which leads to his drastic attempt to bring Betty back. Jeez, from adorable interaction to heart-crushing feels bomb within seconds. That's the magic of this franchise, man. Number 1. Hey! Alright, if I had to stretch, and I mean really stretch for criticisms on this one since I do want to be fair, I guess the intro isn't super memorable? I mean, it does a good job at summing up the sure to be insane nature of the show, but for a series that had one of the most iconic openings in cartoon history, this one is honestly kind of forgettable by comparison. Yep, that's all I got. A less than stellar opening. Can you tell this show is amazing yet? Alright, so with 9 love points and barely 1 hate point, that brings the first impression score to a 9 out of 10. This was a phenomenal first look into this new adult era of Adventure Time, and it's got me absolutely psyched for what's to come. I might talk about this series more, or maybe do a big recap once it's all over, but for now, let's hear what you guys think. Have you all been keeping up with Adventure Time throughout the years? And what did you think of Fionna and Cake so far? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and I hope to see you all real soon.